Good afternoon and welcome to today's webinar, The New GetWell Resident Experience for VA Community Living Centers. My name is Bethany Christensen. I'm with GetWell Network and I will be the operator on this call. Before we begin, I want to take you through how to use the GoToWebinar platform. All attendees are in listen-only mode. If you would like to ask a question, simply type it in the question box in your navigation pane. You can ask a question at any time during the webinar, and we'll address them at the end of the call. It's now my pleasure to turn things over to my colleagues, Carl Morneau, who is GetWell Network's Client Services Director, and Matthew Quattrani, who's our User Interaction Designer.
Thank you, Bethany. And again, welcome everybody. My name is Carl Morneau, and I am the Client Service Director for the government at GetWell Network. During today's session, I will be discussing the growing need for long-term care facilities across the country, especially within the Veterans Health Administration, and the unique challenges that are presented to not only the staff at these facilities, but the residents as well. After a brief overview of the solution, Matthew Quattrani, User Interaction Designer, will provide us with a hands-on demonstration of the solution through the eyes of a CLC resident. Since this is the first iteration of this unique user experience, I will close our presentation today with a roadmap of some future enhancements that are currently being designed to be implemented to the user experience. Older veterans and their families have difficulty navigating the inpatient experience. GetWell Network has spent the last 4 years listening to veterans, families, and staff at CLCs to develop a different user experience that will be easier to navigate and to help drive facility performance improvement measures for this specific veteran population. Our learning objectives for today are identifying the need for a unique precision engagement solution to meet the needs of the community living center, describe the unique challenges that face staff and residents of the community living centers, support optimal use of the GetWell Network resident experience tools to help workflow efficiencies and improve staff and veteran satisfaction, and to finally learn what a call to action pathway entails and how this may help engage veterans to participate in leisure activities that are offered at their community living center. Why is patient engagement important? The goals of patient engagement and education is to activate and transition those who may be passive listeners into engaged learners who will be more willing and able participants in decision-making and self-care. Let's start off with a little background. So with the growing aging population within the United States, it's going to begin to challenge our healthcare system. In 2014, according to the National Center for Health Statistics, there were 1.4 million residents in nursing homes. In 2015, the National Center for Health Statistics deemed that nearly 22% of all persons aged 65 and over to be fair or in poor health. According to the 2017 National Population Project performed by the United States Census Bureau, by 2030, all baby boomers will be older than the age of 65, and 1 in 5 residents will be at retirement age. By the year 2030, the number of people in the world aged 60 years and over is expected to grow by 56%, from just over 900 million to nearly 1.5 billion. Disability with activities of daily living, which is going to entail 80% of those nursing home residents, need help with 3 or more active daily living skills. 90% of these veterans who are able to walk need assistance or supervision. More than half of these residents have incontinence. More than a third have difficulty with hearing and seeing. Dementia affects an estimated 50 to 70% of these residents. And more than 3/4 of these nursing home residents have problems making daily decisions. 2/3 have problems with memory or knowing where they are from time to time, and almost half of these nursing home residents have difficulty both being understood and understanding others. The Department of Veterans Affairs has 132 community living centers across the country. Unlike many nursing homes in the past, the community living center resembles home as much as possible. There are activities for veterans of all ages. It's a family-friendly place for visiting. Veterans are invited to decorate their rooms, pets are allowed to visit and even live within the community living center. Veterans may be there for only a short stay in some of the rehab areas, but some of them are staying in these CLCs for the rest of their lives. It is a place where veterans can receive nursing home level care, which includes help with activities of daily living and skilled nursing and medical care. The mission of the Community Living Center is to restore each veteran to his or her highest level of well-being, and it also to prevent declines in health and to provide comfort at the end of life. With the growing population of elderly veterans, there's going to be a need more than ever for more and more CLC facilities to support our nation's veterans. While there will be a time where some of the older people's lives where the CLC will become necessary, moving from living at home into our nursing home can really have a profound effect on many older people, not at least those with cognitive impairment. For the older person, after the initial setting in period, some, especially those with mild cognitive impairment, may begin to see the nursing home as their home. Accordingly, if they leave the premises for a short weekend break, such as a family visit, they will be keen to return as the home will offer security, friendships, and comfort. So how is quality of life defined for a veteran, and how do we know what residents in long-term care value most? Many systemic attempts have been made to develop an acceptable definition of what quality of life, particularly as it relates to older people, especially to veterans. But most residents define quality of life as family being the most important, being able to keep close contact with family, privacy being the second most important. Residents valued privacy and intimacy. They enjoyed being able to spend time on their own when they so wished to do so. Relationships was also important. Residents enjoyed socializing with other people, and such interactions were reported as generating a great deal of pleasure. Residents had different significant people in their lives to include these staff members that staffed the CLCs. Old friends visiting, new friends that they made within the nursing home, as well as sharing that common bond of having served their country. Indeed, sometimes any visitor, even visitors of the other residents, played a significant role in the veterans' lives. Keeping active is also important for veterans. Activities allayed boredom and were much appreciated. They provided great stimulus for those residents who engaged in them. For some, simply being able to help fellow residents was considered a meaningful activity. In other cases, just having open spaces within the nursing home, which facilitated residents taking exercise, was highly valued. Activities that took residents outdoors on field trips were particularly pleasurable, especially when such outings linked residents with people and places associated with their prior lives. Religion and spirituality was also important, as well as staff and interactions with the staff. The nursing home staff and interactions with the staff were also identified as a key factor, influencing a positive quality of life for veterans interviewed. Results showed that nursing home residents with a mild to moderate cognitive impairment placed a high value on their privacy and intimacy. They appreciated staff members taking a patient-centered approach to their care, treating them with respect, knocking on their doors, listening to their preferences of like when they want to take a shower, and whenever possible, offering them their choice. Residents often became very close and fond of their care team. Entertainment options was also very valued by the residents. Residents interviewed valued various options to the entertainment. One stigma that really poses a challenge is that the CLC population is too old to embrace technology. I can tell you as a former IPC manager that this is far from the truth. Go ahead and tell that to that 92-year-old veteran in the North Florida CLC who uses the internet daily to update his stock portfolio. Access to information such as how to stay safe, who is on my care team, what activities are available in my neighborhood, were also very important to our CLC residents. Having that one resource through their television enabled the care team more time to focus on clinical tasks by allowing the veterans one resource to reference. Finding support within the VA community was also very important to our veterans. Using technology to reach out and find support within the VA community was equally important and found very valuable to our CLC residents. Community living centers have their own unique challenges for the staff as well, not just the residents. Resistance to culture change. So for residents to achieve really a truly patient-centered environment, they need to be empowered, involved in their decisions about their care, having choices, having their voices heard, and feeling safe. Providing a more home-like setting enhances the resident satisfaction and increases the feelings of wellness. Additionally, residents generally prefer to benefit from consistency in staff assignments. Unfortunately, consistent assignments provide opportunities for the care team to get to know their patients immediately. Long-term care staff members need to make time for person-to-person handoff between shifts, not only to improve resident safety, but also to allow for the flow of personal information. The digital whiteboard is a perfect tool that can be used in this. Moreover, an awareness of cultural differences among staff members and between staff and residents is key. A greater effort to match staff and residents based on culture and language may improve the resident quality of life, fostering an environment to meet the needs of cultural differences with our veterans. Unfortunately, staffing issues is always going to play a role in the staff challenges within the CLC. A major factor contributing to inconsistent assignment is turnover of staff in direct care and leadership positions. Some of the causes of turnover are believed to be related to lack of teamwork, shortcomings in staff competencies, low level of staff satisfaction, failure to acknowledge resident acuity in staff assignments, lack of ongoing education and training, and not really feeling appreciated or recognized for the hard work that they're doing. Working in a CLC is physically and mentally demanding. It has higher acuity patients. They require more hands-on nursing, such as lifting, turning, and assisting with palliative and hospice care, and can be truly mentally challenging for the staff, causing burnout. GetWell Network, in partnership with several community living centers across the country, developed this unique user experience that will meet the needs of our growing elderly veteran population while taking into consideration these resident and staff challenges. As GetWell Network was deployed to more and more community living centers across the country, it really became quickly evident that our standard user experience was not meeting the needs of this unique patient population. While keeping patients safe during their stay and educated about their condition are still priorities, the standard user experience presented a challenge for veterans to navigate. Most veterans were intimidated by the technology, many have limited mobility, and some could just not simply read the material that was presented on the television. It became rapidly evident that GetWell Network needed a new and fresh approach to delivering precision engagement to the community living centers. So streamlining the user experience to a less busy, more intuitive approach to precision engagement will help promote active daily living within our community living centers. By empowering residents to be more active in their care, providing a venue for their voices to be heard, and giving them a one-stop shop around what's happening in their community, the new user experience will continue to allow facility strategic quality and veteran satisfaction goals to be up front and center through the use of the priority spaces, but will also allow veterans quick access to things that mean the most to them in their home, accessing the entertainment, learning about their day and activities, and finally how to stay healthy and safe in their new home. With the new resident experience comes a unique CLC-specific PXP pathway, which gauges veterans and family perceptions on the topics relevant to your organization and to the healthcare community. The pathway prompts veterans on a monthly basis in the CLC and weekly in the rehab areas. It will also provide a priority space in the event that this prompt is missed, because the veteran might be away at a procedure or might be visiting other residents. The question appears in a small, less obtrusive window that can be answered quickly with minimal distraction. A check-in will appear in the bottom corner of the screen every month, asking the resident would they like to answer the questions again. This feature will provide real-time feedback via notifications and monitoring through the GetWell Network Management Console to unit and facility leadership, allowing for a more proactive approach to service recovery. So at this time, I would like to hand this over to Matt, who is going to be providing us a real in-depth look into the new resident experience from the eyes of a CLC resident.
All right, thank you, Carl. And thank you, everybody, for joining this call. I'm really excited to be able to showcase this experience. We've worked really hard on this over the last year. It took, honestly, a bunch of people to come together and who are really experts in different components of CLC resident living to really help kind of bring this thing together. So I want to just jump right in. I know you're all anxious to probably see the experience, so let's get started. Like Carl said, we really focus on improving quality of life through entertainment options and keeping residents active and aware of events. But we also focus on safety, services available, behavioral health, healthy living, community, and of course, health education. And we also, as Carl said as well, wanted to simplify the solution. So as you can see, this is a little bit different from our standard user experience where instead of showing 3 priority spaces, we're showing 1 at a time. And instead of having 15 favorite buckets that the user could scroll through, it's just organized into 4 top level categories. And the reason to do this is that we really don't want to overwhelm the user and make them feel comfortable in interacting with our system. So let's start with the entertainment bucket. So you'll notice that there's an arrangement or a hierarchy of these favorite buckets, starting with my movies and entertainment, then moving on to my day and events, and to my community, and then health and resources. So if we click into my movies and entertainment, the first thing you'll notice is left-hand navigation with tiles on the right-hand side. This was purposely done to be transparent, giving the user the ability to have the most important content to them surface to the top. You'll also notice when there will be a total of 6 tiles always on the right-hand side, 6 or less tiles. If there are more than 6 tiles, you'll see a plus more or a see more tile. This was, again, a very conscious decision to limit the amount of content that we're showing at any given time, but making sure it's the most important content that the resident will want to see to, again, not overwhelm them. So if and it's also left-hand navigation, the 6 tiles helps reduce the amount of clicks that need to be taken by the user. So if you click over to the right, you can see the user can interact with action, comedy, drama, family, but we also offer a Western package if your facility was interested in that. You click into action, you can see the titles of the movies available that the user can scroll through. If they would decide that they wanted to watch a movie, you get a popover landing on the Play English version. So again, reducing the clicks and kind of predicting what the user might want to do. Something else you notice, when a user clicks down, the content on the right-hand side automatically changes, giving the user the ability to preview the content to make an informed decision before they decide if they want to interact with the content on the right-hand side, again, reducing the amount of clicks. When we go into the Watch TV section, you can see the user can select to see the TV channel guide, but there can be a total of 5 TV channels configured per unit per facility that you think are the most popular or most watched TV channels for that specific unit. Another form of entertainment we offer is listening to music and podcasts. So a user can search the internet for music, but there's also preloaded YouTube music playlists in there. Facilities can also create their own custom YouTube playlist if they would like to do so. We offer radio station listening and podcasts as well. And what these are direct links out to the web, making it easier for the user. Instead of having to go to the internet, they can just be one click and be exactly the site that they want to interact with. Same concept goes into Surf the Internet, where we break it down into just sending them out to Google, social networks, and even Pinterest was mindfully thought of because Pinterest is actually a very interesting social network, especially for residents of CLC facilities who are suffering from some form of dementia. Pinterest could be used to create memory boards, so a user could easily go in and kind of have nostalgia over some things and revisit some of their things from their past that they're really interested in. So in the play games section, this is an example of the view all. So we have our normal game library. Sorry about that. I had to refresh my page for a second. Okay, I'm back. So play games, so it's our standard game library, but we also incorporate memory games too. And then we have our relaxation content. So that includes animal cams that the user can flip through, nature cams, relaxation videos, and soothing music YouTube playlists. So we go into My Day and Events. You can see here's where we start talking about care team. So facilities can use this section to showcase care team information, who care team members are, what their responsibilities are, pictures they've had, and even colors of uniforms that they wear. In the event calendar, users can click the button to see events that are available and be aware of what's going on in the facility. If we go down to My Dining, this is where if you had meal ordering activated would live, but we also have healthy food choice content videos, and then an opportunity to get feedback from residents through questionnaires, specifically the National Nutrition Survey, or if your facility had a custom questionnaire that you wanted to create, that could be done too, which ties in directly into the tell us what you think. This whole section is configurable by facility, so a great opportunity to get feedback from residents in real time and be able to make informed decisions or improvements. In the healthy living content, this is where you will see activities of daily living content, in-room exercises, and other healthy living videos such as making lifestyle changes, controlling depression, managing stress, and quitting smoking. In the About My Home section, you'll see safety information, and if your facility has canteen services or laundry services and you wanted a custom content page created, this is where it would live. We also showcase services provided from the facility to the resident, rules and responsibilities, and even about the system that they are interacting with. In the third bucket, we have My Community and Me, where this is the social component of the system. So if you click in, the first thing is building About Me. For V1, this is simply picking their military badge to showcase in the system, but really in V2 and V3, we're going to be doing a lot of exploratory work and figuring out what it does an About Me section really mean. What kind of information can we get from these residents and store for the staff to be able to understand and really know who the residents are. Another component is connect with others. So through email, Facebook, and other social networks, sometimes you will see dual content throughout the system. And again, that's done purposely, so we're not forcing the resident to remember exactly where all the content lives, but giving them multiple channels to be able to interact with the content that they want to interact with. They can also find support through My Healthy Vet, Veterans Crisis Line, and National Veterans Foundation, and see information for their family and friends, like cafeteria and retail store information, rights and responsibilities for family members, and even visiting hours. And finally, if we go to the My Health and Resources section, this is where the health education lives. So health videos picked just for me. They can browse our full health video library, again, interact with safety information, and again, interact with quit smoking sensation. They can also learn about their medications that they've been prescribed or search our medication library, explore whole health, and improve their well-being through behavioral health content such as manage stress, road to recovery, again, control depression, addiction awareness, anxiety relief, and suicide prevention. They can explore resources and benefits for them, again, through My Healthy Vet, e-benefits, Explore VA, and veteran resource videos from our library. The last thing in the My Health and Resources section is the advanced directives. So asking the resident if they are aware of advanced directives and being able to interact with them if needed. That's all I have for V1, so I'm going to hand it back to Carl. Thank you, everybody.
All right, thank you, Matt. Very cool, huh? I'm really excited that this is going to be available for our veterans. You know, as I travel the country and I see and visit with veterans on the various CLCs, I know they're excited about this as well. So what's next? I know the question out there on everybody's mind is what's next? Because you heard Matthew talk about V1, V2, and V3. He's talking about version 1. So what you saw today was version 1 of the resident experience. But we're not going to finish there. We have version 2 and version 3 that are currently in the works. So what's next? The next thing that we're going to be working on is a pathway called the call to action pathway. Although the resident experience will still allow access to all of GetWell Network's clinical pathways, this specific pathway is going to be designed to help promote active daily living. Facilities are going to have the opportunity to promote events and activities to the veteran's television through the Did You Know prompt, allowing the veteran to sign up for specific events and then remind them throughout the day through the use of activity prompts about the event. And then once the event completes, we're going to provide them with the opportunity to solicit feedback once the event is complete with a post-activity check and a feedback tool. So this is an example of the flow of our active daily living prompt. Patient will get the prompt. Whether or not they want to sign up for the event, we'll send them reminders. As you see there, really cool non-obtrusive reminders that pop up from the bottom of the TV. And then at the end of the event, we're going to provide them a check-in. So the example that we have here is bingo. You know, bingo is happening today at 1 p.m. Do you want to sign up? Veteran signs up. We send them reminders throughout the day. And then at the end, we're going to ask them, did you play bingo today? Yes or no? And then we'll provide them the opportunity to provide that feedback to those recreational therapists so they can better tailor the activities for their specific CLCs. But the resident experience, just like with our inpatient experience, we're still going to support focused use of technology to drive performance improvement. By continuing to focus on quality and safety initiatives, the resident experience is going to support technology to help reduce hospital-acquired infections, reduce falls through education, help educate veterans on heart failure, pain management, diabetes management, and then another feature that I'm really excited about is to promote mental fitness through our brand new behavioral health pathway. So I want to thank everybody today for their time. Bethany is now going to answer any questions that you might have from the field.
Great presentation, Carl and Matt. Thank you. At this time, we will now take questions. To ask a question, go to the Q&A box on your navigation pane and type it in. Questions will be taken in the order they're received, and if we don't get to yours during the webinar, please submit it in the post-webinar survey and we'll follow up with you directly. All right, question number 1. When is this going to be available and what are the requirements?
So I can take that one. This is actually available right now, and we're in the process of building out our first beta client in Lyons, North Jersey. So the only requirements are that you are on PLC 4.0 and upgraded to 7.05. Other than that, that's it. If you are interested in this, please reach out to your CSM or ICP managers, and we can get started.
All right, and this one is from a facility that doesn't currently have GetWell Network. They say they're interested in it for their CLC, and who should they contact?
I'll go ahead and take that one, Matt. That's actually a great question. So at the end of this webinar, you're going to have the opportunity to complete a survey. Within that survey, please leave your information to include your name, telephone number, and a good email address. And one of our representatives will get back with you and talk with you about next steps and how you can get this for your facility.
Okay, and I just got another question. Is there an additional cost to upgrade to this experience?
Again, that's another great question. I'll take that one too, Matt. We had the opportunity to actually present this at our annual user conference, Get Connected, and this was really the number one question of the attendees is how much is this going to cost my facility? The good news is that this is included in the price of your GetWell network contract. So there is no additional cost if you want to update your facility to the resident experience.
Great. And will this impact our current interface? Carl, you want to take that one?
Matt, Matt, if you don't mind, I'll take that too.
Sure.
Interfaces has always been a challenge, in the VA environment. So I have great news. This is not going to impact at all the interfaces that are currently in place at your facility. It'll be a smooth, seamless transition. The only difference is the veterans are going to see a new user experience on their television, but all of the pathways that you currently have live and all of the integrated features that you currently have live are going to remain in place.
Okay, I might get one more. Hold on. Okay, one more question. Is it accessible or adaptable to patients for patients who are blind or hard of seeing? Do you know anything about that for low vision or blind patients?
Sure. I can take that one too, Matt, unless you want
to. Either or. I think there's go ahead.
Go ahead. So like with our regular standard user experience, we do have a visual assist capability that will be available to be turned on for then our staff only tools feature. If you need help with accessing that or have any additional questions with that, go ahead and reach out to your client service representative, your interactive patient care manager, or your client service director, and we'll be more than happy to show you how to access that feature. It's currently available with our standard user experience, and it will be available with this one as well.
And some more enhancements that we're trying to figure out right now and really in the discovery phase is users being able to select the font size that they want throughout the system between a normal, larger, and largest. So that is, again, coming in the future, the ability for the user to be able to control that at their fingertips.
All right, great. Thank you for your questions, everyone. If we didn't get to yours in this webinar, we do have it, and we can follow up with you directly. All right, so as I mentioned, you'll see a survey pop up on your screen shortly. It takes just a minute to complete, and we really do appreciate the feedback. Additionally, I'll be following up with you, and I'll be providing the presentation slides and a link to the webinar recording. This concludes today's webinar. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.